Hey guys, this is your host, Franziska Weinheimer, and welcome back to the Hikers Anonymous podcast. On this podcast, I help share people's inspirational stories about how hiking, backpacking, and the outdoors changed their lives. If you have an inspirational story about how the outdoors positively impacted your life, please send a short synopsis of your story to hikeoregon@hikeoregon.net and put in the subject line podcast guest. Today I'm talking with Amy, who I met last June at one of my book signing events. Not only was her bright rainbow-colored hair totally eye-catching, but her energy was so amazing, and I immediately knew that she was someone I wanted to get to know better. I was so lucky to get to record this episode with Amy in person. We met at the Silver Falls County store where we had lunch and just chatted about her story. So I want to know more about your story, Amy. Like, what's your history with the outdoors? Did you grow up enjoying the outdoors with your family, or were you more of like a city kid?
So, I grew up in a really small town, Beatrice, Nebraska. I think there was like 30,000 people there, so it wasn't like super big, and there wasn't much to do there. But my dad was a Boy Scout leader, and so sometimes he'd take us to Boy Scout camp, but mostly my brothers because I'm a girl, so I didn't belong there, obviously. And I just remember this giant tortoise, and I loved being outside. I loved being in the trees, mostly. But Nebraska doesn't have, they have trees, but not like here.
Yeah.
Like, the trees here are amazing. So, yeah, I grew up with just a very small amount of outdoor experience, I guess. I've always liked camping, but I've always had kind of the wrong gear because I always wake up with wet feet. And I just thought that was part of camping. Was you wake up with wet feet. I didn't realize that there's, gear out there that stops that from happening. My tent's always wet, and that's just part of it,
Part of it.
You just don't get to sleep well, and my dad taught me, like, clovers are good to eat, and I think that was the only thing I remember that he taught me. But yeah, so that was basically like, that history there.
The foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. Like, I loved camping. There was always like the one lake I liked going to in Nebraska, Wagon Train Lake, and it was just this flat lake, you got to see the muskrats like cleaning themselves, and I mean, it was just a quiet place, and I really loved it there. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So is there something that happened in your life that kind of led you away from the outdoors? And then I guess what ultimately brought you back?
So I think that for a very long time I had been, I used to drink a lot, and I used to play pool, and so I kind of like stayed indoors and did that sort of thing, and kind of like, I don't know, ignored the outdoors.
Well, and when you're living that lifestyle, you're up all night.
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
getting up early.
I was not
wanting
getting up
to
early.
Hit the trail.
Right. And I was also, like, I was working in restaurants, and so I was like, paid very much in a restaurant.
Yeah.
So I was working at 2 different restaurants, and so I'd like wake up and I'd go to work, and then usually go to the bar afterwards, and then like go home and go to bed, and it's just like a cycle. I was just a robot on repeat. And then one day, I don't remember how it all started, but like my friend Brian had told me that I couldn't quit drinking, and he bet me $100 that I couldn't go drinking for 100 days. And it was like very soon after that, I think that my friend Dustin passed away, and it was a really weird situation, and they found 4 locos down the road where he was walking, and then they ended up finding him in the field. And he had a problem with his heart, with copious amounts of alcohol made him, they said that's probably what caused him to pass away. But so that really got me thinking about, what am I doing with my life? I'm just like sitting here, I'm drinking it away, and I'm just working. I'm not living. This is not living.
This is not living.
And my friend Jackie also had told me that I should watch the movie Moana. And I did. And I watched it over and over and over and over and over. And I really loved it because she wasn't going out to like find love. She was going out for adventure, you know, and to help her people. And I was like, that's what I want. I want adventure and I want to live. There's got to be more out there.
Yeah.
You know, back in 2002, I had visited Oregon for the first time. And I remember, or 2001, anyway, I just remember all the trees and the waterfalls, like, but mainly the trees, they're just incredible. You know, they're everywhere. They're on the sides of the road, on the highway. There are streams along the highway. Like, it's just insane here. So then I kind of put it out to the universe and was like, hey, you know, I'd really like to move somewhere else. And my brothers live in California, and so I'd kind of like asked people in California if there was anywhere to stay, if they knew of anyone, and there was no doors opening there. And then a friend of mine happened to reach out and was like, hey, you know, I've quit drinking and we have this room in this house and it's only $300 a month in Oregon City. I was like, where's Oregon City? Yeah. So then I ended up getting rid of everything I owned. I moved in with another friend in Nebraska to save money in her basement. Watched Moana some more. And then, because it was terrifying, you know, it's like I'm about to go.
You're picking up and moving across the country.
Most everything I own, I've never been materialistic, but even the few things that I had, it made me really anxious to get rid of them. And so I had to do, it was a process of, this went on for, I think, a couple months where it was like just giving away things a little bit at a time. After I'd given away everything and I moved with my friend.
Did you drive to
Yes.
Oregon? Okay, cool.
So I had...
So everything you owned was in your car.
So most everything I owned, I'd given away. There was just a few things. I'd like my clothes. I think I brought some of my plants with me. And I can't remember what else. But it wasn't very much. I have a Nissan Versa, so it's like not very much stuff can fit in that car. But yeah, I just decided I'd saved up $2,000 and I decided that was enough money. Yeah. Which I should have probably saved a little more, but then I drove out here. I had two choices to either go from Nebraska in like a horseshoe and like go up and around, or go the other way and like see things I've never seen before, you know, north, and visit friends up north, and decided to go up north, and now I'm over here in Oregon, and I got here June 10th of 2017. Wow. So I didn't really know anyone. Right. Except for Amanda, and I knew a couple people in Eugene, but otherwise it was like absolutely no one. And amazing. So I was just like wanted to get out and explore and adventure, and
so that's one of the first things you started doing.
Yeah, because
getting outside.
Yeah, you know, my rent was $300 a month, and I had some, you know, a little extra money, and even after I got a job, it was like I have all this money, and I can just put it in my gas tank, and so I was going everywhere, like to the coast, all over the place, as many different places as I could, and then the fire happened, the Eagle Creek fire, and everyone was really destroyed about Eagle Creek. But I didn't understand what they were upset about, because I was like, there's so many trails all over Oregon, you know. Now I get it, but at that time it wasn't.
Well, you didn't have that connection to the place yet. Right.
And now I would be destroyed if that happened, and I was like watching it happen. It would be terrible.
You said you moved here in 2017. Okay, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
How has the outdoors here, I guess, shaped you into this amazing person that you are today?
Man, like, I love it so much here. Like, I don't know if I've ever been in love before, but this is definitely where I love being. Like, it's brought me so much confidence. I've gotten to climb mountains, like actual mountains. Yeah. You know, like I would have never ever thought in a million years that I would climb a freaking mountain, you know? I love being in the forest because it feels like a meditation, like I'm getting away. You know, and the thing is here is that people of all like skill levels can go out and they can find something to do, something beautiful to be around, be alone in nature. Like that's the biggest thing. I guess going back, I had quit drinking like 6 months before I came here. Right. The outdoors has been very instrumental in helping me stay alcohol free because, if I've ever felt alone or wanted to, I guess, be closer to myself, I don't even know if that's the right word, but I just go out into nature and I just think about things that are wrong in my life. It's a really good just way of focusing and centering
and also disconnecting.
There we go. That's a great way. That's exactly what
you center, but you can disconnect from what's triggering your anxieties or fears or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't think, since I've been here, I miss the social aspects of drinking, I guess. Mm-hmm. But now that I have friends that I hike with and don't drink, like some of them don't drink at all.
Right.
It's like I don't miss it at all. I can't even imagine going. Well, I suppose if I moved back to Nebraska, I'd probably. Sorry, there's not much to do there, but. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't get enough. You know, I just always want to be outside on the trails, and if I don't have the opportunity, I start getting like a troll, bridge troll.
Oh my god, a bridge troll. How has your hiking journey changed from the beginning, I guess?
Oh man.
Whether that be your childhood, I guess you didn't hike a whole lot.
Right. I didn't know what hiking was.
Right.
I thought I did, but I had no clue.
From when you moved here, how was your hiking journey?
Oh man,
changed over.
It's so
over
crazy.
Those years.
When I first got here, I didn't know anything about boots.
Right. You just mentioned you hiked Multnomah Falls in flip-flops.
Yeah, the first time I went up Multnomah Falls, I had originally gone out there just to take a picture with a sign for a friend back in Nebraska.
So you're just going to the bridge.
Yeah. I don't even know if I was planning to go to the bridge. And I was in flip-flops and a skirt, and I just started going up, and I was like, got to the bridge, and I'm like, I really want to go up just to see if I can do it.
Right.
I used to love climbing things as a kid, so I was like, let's go up further, and not really thinking what a bad idea it is to go out in flip-flops. It's like rocks.
You didn't
like
have a backpack.
No, nothing. I had no water, like nothing. I just there's a bunch of people going up there. I'm going to go up there too. So now I know.
Yeah, and now she's actually training.
Yeah, training for Mount
Hood. So you can just see the difference.
Oh, yeah, because the first time that I climbed up Multnomah Falls, it was like I stopped at every switchback. It was so steep.
Hard, yeah.
And then my friend Morgan, it was after me and my boyfriend had broken up at the time, and my friend Morgan had asked me if I wanted to go up Dog Mountain for the first time.
Oh, that's a steep one.
I was terrified because I was like, it's like so steep, like I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then she had me do it, and I was so proud of myself when I got to the top. And then it was like that with Multnomah Falls, where, the first time it was really hard, but then after so long, we went back to Multnomah Falls, and Morgan and I went up without taking a break. I was like, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to see, like, I wasn't even, like, hiking a lot of steep things at that time, I don't think, and I was, like, seeing how much my muscles would improve. Plus, I'd had...
Stamina.
Yeah. And since... It would have been at the end of 2017 or 2018, I had to have a full foot reconstruction and a calf lengthening. And so
that's a lot of rehab there,
And the doctor told me that I would maybe be able to run 2 miles someday. And so,
oh, gosh.
Yeah. So it was like I don't think you're going to be able to do too much, but hopefully you'll have some mobility. That's what it felt like he was saying. And so since then, I've been, like, proving him wrong.
Yeah. Amazing.
So there's probably that part of me that's rebellious from when I was a kid that comes out, and it's like, screw you, doctor. Like, well, thank you, doctor, too, because he did fix me.
My foot,
you don't get to say how many miles I can walk or hike or run. I just want to do really cool things and like have amazing adventures and like, I don't know, just be the best me and live up to as much potential as I think I have, just endless potential,
Right. So what are some lessons that you've learned through hiking?
Well, gear is pretty important, having a good fitting backpack which you can get fitted for backpacks, you know, at REI, or I imagine that a lot of the places that sell backpacks will do fittings for you.
Yeah.
And don't just go with your first pair of hiking boots, because mine was from the Big Five sports store.
Hey, I started hiking in like Nike, like running shoes.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
hiked with those for a year.
Oh my God.
Like on crazy trails. So I mean, you can go out in pretty much anything besides flip flops.
Yeah.
Please don't go out in or Crocs.
Oh my God.
Please don't go out in Crocs. That's a big no-no.
So
I see this.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's a travesty. I mean, my friend Ashley and I went out one time, and she had her Crocs on when she left, and thought she had grabbed her boots.
This
get out to Coyote Wall, and it was like, well,
this happens sometimes.
we're not going too far today.
My friend did that with her Uggs. She had her Ugg boots driving, and then they get to the Black Butte trailhead, the bottom one.
Oh,
they were gonna hike the whole thing. She hiked the whole thing in her Uggs.
Good for her.
Yeah,
like,
she did it.
wow, I'm
I
impressed.
wouldn't do
Like,
it.
I don't think I'd do
My
that.
feet would die. But.
Right. Oh my God. I've also learned that poles are very important. When I first got here, I thought they were stupid. But
I did too. I was always too good for poles.
Yeah, and I
over
just
time.
I thought like people look stupid with their
Yeah.
poles, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be one of those people. I'm gonna just walk. And I have learned that poles are really good for maintaining balance.
Everything. They're good for everything.
Yeah, especially since I had my foot reconstruction. You know, I really rely on those poles a lot to like help me with balance, but also stabilization. Yeah, I always have them with me every time everywhere I go. I've learned about backpacking and losing weight in your pack to like you want to get it under like my friend Kim says like 30 pounds. Under 30 is good. I'm sure
that's a good number.
Yeah, because I did Tuck and Robin with like a 50-pound pack.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it might not have been 50 pounds. It was very heavy.
But close to.
Yeah, and it was just.
It's miserable.
It was miserable. Yeah.
I feel like once you get above like the 35 range, especially because you know we're on the shorter side. You know, we're not 6-foot men.
Right.
That's a lot of weight on our small frame.
Right. Oh my shoulders.
Weighing you down, your shoulders, your back, your ankles, your legs. I mean, it's a lot.
I just brought really unnecessary things on that trip. Like I have a mermaid tail that I brought. I was like planning on swimming. You know, we were going to stop after 2 miles at the first lake, and we didn't. And yeah, it was just I've learned a lot about weight and how important it is to not have like your mermaid tail on a backpacking trip, because it's not that important, you know. And I don't even think it was warm enough to swim.
Right. Oh.
So I was like, what am I doing? Like,
pack a whole beach towel and goggles. And...
Oh man. But
what are some personal lessons that you've learned?
To be patient with myself.
That's a good one.
To listen to yourself. I mean, there's a point of like where you should keep pushing yourself, like if you're trying to get to a summit, say. But there's also like if you really don't feel comfortable in a situation, trust your gut. Yeah, and only summit mountains with people you really trust.
Oh yeah,
that's a really important. Mountains are very dangerous, and it's really important that you go up with someone that's going to be patient with you, or if they have more experience than you,
because they can enhance your fears.
Right.
If it's not the
it can be
fit.
Yeah, it can be a really terrible experience.
This is true.
I have learned also that words have great power. One of my training for Kings, the training for Mount Hood was to go up Kings to like get my legs to be mountain shape, you know. And I've been going up Kings every week, and I'll take breaks, and it's almost frustrating to me because I need to get stronger. And the only way you get stronger, I feel like, is you got to push yourself a little more, you know. And so I'd made it a goal to get up Kings without taking breaks. I did it last week, and I went out and I just tried to stay focused and kept telling myself every time I felt tired, I was like, you're strong, you're not tired. And I kept building myself up the entire time, which took a lot of focus, but it was like every time I would start running out of breath, I was like, just breathe, and I'd slow down my breath. But I kept moving. And when I was tired, I'd say, you're tough, you're not tired. And I was yelling at myself. And like, just the words that you tell yourself have a lot of power. Your subconscious does not know sarcasm. So if you tell yourself, well, that was really stupid, you're going to feel like you're stupid, but you're not. You just can't say these things to yourself. You got to try to stay positive, especially when summiting mountains, little mountains, whatever. Just if you tell yourself that you're stupid and that you're weak, then you probably will be. So it's a little redundant.
Just so people know, Kings Mountain mileage and elevation gain, approximately?
So it's 2,533 feet of elevation gain in 2.5 miles. So
that's...
Well, the length is 4.6, I guess, altogether.
Right, but you're doing the elevation gain on the way up.
Yeah, so that's 2.5 miles.
2.5 miles
is, or maybe a little less, but yeah, that's what I have on my all trails.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's steep.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then there's the elk side, and the elk side is just as crazy, but it's more climby, like scrambly.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually one of my favorite. You get to summit twice, and you get to scramble a bit. It's a great butt kicker, it's like, it's a good one.
All of it. What is currently one of your favorite things about hiking, backpacking, being in the outdoors?
So many things. I think, I guess internally, like in my brain, I would say the fact that I'm no longer depressed.
Yeah.
Ever since I came here, quitting drinking was definitely, instrumental for me. Like, not drinking helps me to not be depressed.
Right. It's such a depressant.
Right.
So,
and I didn't put it together. When I was in the throes of drinking. Like, I didn't understand that this is depressing all of my happiness,
Yeah, in your brain. The chemicals in your brain.
So just for me, at least, to quit drinking, that was instrumental. But then being in the outdoors, I used to go to sleep. I used to pray that I would not wake up,
Wow.
And so I haven't felt like that since I've been here. Since I go out, when I feel terrible, when I feel anxious, whatever, I just go out and see a waterfall or hit a trail. And even if I don't feel great afterwards, there's still some levity, like how I feel, the anxiety. I still deal with anxiety.
Right.
But
you feel better, at least.
Yes. Yeah. And the anxiety goes down once I get outside.
Right.
Hit a trail, like, man, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's the full sensory experience,
right.
You get to eat things sometimes in the forest. You get to
look at things.
You get to look at things, touch
things.
the moss, like
the
all the little life that comes around. You get to see salamanders sometimes, or like we were talking about.
You get to hear the birds and the water.
Sometimes I'll just stand if I'm by myself on a trail. I'll just sometimes stand with my eyes closed in the middle of the trail and just listen to the forest, and it's so amazing. Like, I just feel so good.
Forest bathing.
Yeah.
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's I guess. Yeah. But it's for that amount of time that I don't have any worries. Like, even if I have signal, a lot of times I put my phone in airplane mode because, well, for one, it's better on the battery, but that way nobody can bother me.
Yeah.
Like,
you're out there for a reason to be
I need to get away from this. Like, if I post things on Facebook, I'm not outside anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm at my house or like somewhere that is not outdoors.
Right.
Like, I just want to enjoy it when I'm out there.
Yeah, be in that moment.
Yeah.
So what is a message that you would like to share with the listeners? Like, could be anything, like an inspirational quote or something. Or a tip on getting started.
Well, I would say the way I started was just you go out and find easy trails and just increase the difficulty. Yeah. And you have to remember that you don't have to do these trails really fast.
Yeah.
Go slow. Take your time. Hike your hike. Don't let anybody tell you to go faster if you don't want to. Enjoy it. The slower I go, the more I see.
Right.
I was on the part of the Wilson River Trail, what was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was just sauntering. I had my roommate's dog Piper with me, and so we're just like getting into hiking. She had never really been. It was only her like 3rd or 4th hike, and so I took her to an easier trail, and we found little someone had stuck little trolls in trees. It's like, what is this? This is so amazing.
So
but
fun.
it's just stuff like that.
Right.
Like,
that you wouldn't notice if you were
Right.
going 3 miles an hour.
right, yeah. So sometimes, and sometimes that's fun to go 3 miles an hour. Sometimes
Right.
it's fun to
Fun
go
to
really
push yourself.
fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love pushing myself
Yeah.
now. But I think at first I didn't. I just wanted to be out and
Yeah.
just enjoying trails, I think the quotes that I wanted to remember was the words. Remember that words have power. You can talk yourself into doing good things,
Yep.
or you can also talk yourself down if you let yourself get into your brain too much. And if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. That is my other one. That's what I like a lot.
That's a good one.
And then another, I like to, somebody challenged me to come up with a word for the year, I guess. And my word is strong, because I love that word. I love when I was going up to Devil's Kitchen. It's really hard. And at one point I started, I just all of a sudden was panicking, and I was overwhelmed with how hard it was. And my friends were like, are you okay? What can we do? And all of a sudden my brain just switched to the word strong, and I just started saying out loud, strong, 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 and it just got me up the mountain.
Oh, wow.
And so you're still going to do the work, but
Yeah.
if you can think of a different way to do the work, I guess it makes it a little easier.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
your incredible inspirational
Oh,
story with
you're
us.
welcome.
This was
So thanks
awesome.
for listening. Thanks for wanting to listen. This is cool. I haven't got this opportunity, so
Yes.
this is great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
It was so amazing getting to know Amy a little bit better and hearing her inspirational story. Again, if you have an inspirational story about how the outdoors positively impacted your life, please send a short synopsis to hikeoregon@hikeoregon.net and put in the subject line podcast guest. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Stay safe and happy trails.